9 questions girls ask that are secretly loaded with sexual tension. Girls have a way of asking questions that can seem innocent on the surface, but when you read between the lines, you'll often find that there's a lot more going on. If a girl is interested in you and wants to turn up the heat, she'll drop questions that are secretly loaded with sexual tension, inviting you to flirt back without making things too obvious. Let's dive in. 1. What would you do if we were alone right now? This question is practically dripping with sexual tension. When a girl asks what you'd do if you were alone together, it's an open invitation to flirt. She's testing the waters, seeing how far you're willing to take the conversation. This isn't about asking what movie you'd watch or where you'd go for dinner. It's a question that invites you to suggest something more intimate. By asking this, she's opening the door to a more playful and potentially suggestive conversation. She's not just interested in what you do for fun. She's curious to see if you'll pick up on the sexual undertones of her question. She's essentially asking if you've been thinking about her in a way that goes beyond just friends. How you answer will set the tone for the rest of the conversation. A playful, flirty response like, "I guess we'd have to find out," keeps the tension alive and shows her that you're on the same wavelength. She's hoping you'll respond in a way that teases her curiosity, sparking the chemistry between you two. 2. Are you a good kisser? This question might seem innocent at first, but it's almost always loaded with sexual tension. When a girl asks if you're a good kisser, she's not just asking for fun. She's likely thinking about what it would be like to kiss you. She's testing your confidence and gauging how you respond to a question that's directly tied to intimacy. If she's asking this, it's often because she's thought about getting closer to you physically and is curious to see how you'll react. Your response can either maintain or increase the sexual tension between you. A confident reply like, "Why don't you find out?" invites her to think about taking that next step with you, without you coming on too strong. This question is her way of introducing the idea of physical intimacy into the conversation without being too forward. She's leaving the door open for you to flirt back and hint at the possibility of something more happening between you. 3. What do you look for in a girl? At first glance, this question might seem like a simple inquiry about your preferences, but when a girl asks what you look for in a girl, especially in a flirty conversation, it's often loaded with more meaning. She's trying to see if she matches up to what you're attracted to, and if she's really interested, she's hoping your answer will give her a clue about whether you see her as someone you could be with. If she's flirting with you, this question can easily turn into a conversation with a lot of underlying tension. She's essentially giving you the opportunity to describe qualities she might have, especially if she's been thinking about you in a romantic or physical way. You can play into the tension by describing traits you know she possesses, subtly hinting that she fits what you're looking for. This will not only boost her confidence, but also build a sense of mutual attraction between the two of you. 4. Do you ever think about me? This question is a major giveaway that she's been thinking about you, and depending on the tone, it can be filled with sexual tension. If she's asking whether you ever think about her, she's not just wondering if you remember to text her or think of her during your day-to-day routine. She's trying to find out if you've been thinking about her in a more intimate or personal way. If she asks this in a flirty or teasing tone, she's likely hoping you'll admit that you've been thinking about her in the same way she's been thinking about you. It's her way of inviting you to confess any romantic or sexual thoughts you might have, without her having to admit hers first. Your response can either keep things light or deepen the tension. If you playfully say something like, "You're on my mind more than you know," it shows her that she's not the only one thinking along those lines, and it increases the chemistry between you. 5. What's your biggest turn-on? When a girl asks you about your biggest turn-on, she's not just curious about your preferences in a general sense. She's trying to find out what excites you on a deeper, more intimate level. This question is often used to steer the conversation into more sexually charged territory while still keeping things playful and light. She's hoping you'll share something personal, which allows her to gauge whether she can meet your expectations or even tease you about it in a fun way. It's her way of subtly introducing sexual topics into the conversation, inviting you to reveal a bit more about what makes you tick. If she's asking this, it's because she's already thinking about you in a physical context. By responding with something that leaves room for more teasing or flirtation, you can heighten the tension and keep the conversation going in a more intimate direction. 6. What do you sleep in? This is one of those seemingly innocent questions that's loaded with sexual tension, especially depending on how and when she asks it. If she's curious about what you wear to bed, she's likely imagining you in a more vulnerable or intimate setting, which can naturally lead to sexual thoughts. She's inviting you to reveal something personal and physical about yourself, and the question itself suggests that she's thinking about what you look like when you're not fully dressed. Depending on your response, this conversation can quickly turn playful and flirtatious, allowing both of you to express your interest in a way that feels natural. A playful response like, "Why don't you come over and find out?" keeps the conversation light but filled with tension, giving her a clear signal that you're on the same page when it comes to the chemistry between you. 7. Do you think about me when you're alone? This question is a direct invitation for you to admit if you've had any intimate or sexual thoughts about her. If she's asking if you think about her when you're alone, she's hinting at the idea that she might be on your mind in more than just a casual way. She's likely trying to see if she's been the subject of any fantasies or private thoughts you've had. This question is often asked in a playful, teasing manner, but make no mistake, there's plenty of tension behind it. She's curious about whether you're attracted to her in a way that goes beyond friendship, and she's hoping you'll admit to thinking about her in a more intimate context. How you respond can either build on that tension or diffuse it. If you want to keep the spark alive, a response like, "You've definitely crossed my mind," will let her know that she's had an impact on you without being too explicit. 8. Have you ever had a naughty dream about someone you know? Dreams can be a fun and easy way for someone to introduce a sexual element into the conversation without making things too serious. If she asks you whether you've ever had a naughty dream about someone you know, she's not just curious about your dreams, she's testing the waters to see if you'll admit to having a sexual imagination, and maybe even if you've ever dreamed about her. By asking this, she's encouraging you to share something more personal and potentially intimate. It's a fun, indirect way for her to see if you're thinking about her in a sexual way, especially if she follows up with, "Was I ever in one of your dreams?" This playful question is her way of flirting without making things awkward or uncomfortable. If you play along and hint that she might have been in one of those dreams, you're subtly raising the sexual tension while keeping the conversation lighthearted. 9. What do you think we'd be like together? When a girl asks this question, she's not just asking about compatibility. She's likely wondering about what you think the physical and emotional chemistry between the two of you would be like. She's testing to see if you've thought about the two of you as a couple, or, even more likely, if you've imagined what it would be like to be intimate with her. This question is loaded with tension because it's designed to make you think about her in a romantic and sexual way. She's trying to see if you can picture the two of you together in a more personal setting, and she's hoping that your answer will give her a hint about whether you feel the same kind of attraction that she does. Your response can either push the conversation towards something more intimate or keep things casual. But if you're interested, this is a prime opportunity to flirt back and let her know you've been thinking about the possibility of the two of you being more than friends. So what's next for you? Discover the phrases women use when they're crazy about you, or learn what she says when she's secretly liked you for a long time. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more.